So, just in case anybody was having the same issue that I was having. So this thing, when I got it, the carb was so fucking plugged up. Don't mind all the batteries and tools everywhere. Fucking in the rags in there. I got that because it's wet in there, and I'm using my jumper pack for a battery. Because batteries over here on the floor, in case you want, fucking nosy, if you're wondering. But anyways, the carburetor. I put this on here, and I never thought about this neither. And I rebuilt the other one. That's why there's a weird bolt here, because this is a different one. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is it? Because it would run and it would idle mint, and then as soon as I don't know 5-10 minutes goes around, thing would leak. And then I took it apart, adjusted the float, replaced the float needle in it, or the float, replace that. Why the fuck is it still leaking? Like, there's no way. And I set it to the right float height, got my calipers over there, and my fucking bottle that I hung it with, and made sure it was all good. And then I put it in the bike, and it automatically starts leaking. Well, if you notice, I'm going to stand this up perfectly straight. I mean, you might not be able to tell. Look at the way that the carb is. The carb is at an angle. It's raked, and it's at an angle. So no matter what you set your float height to, as soon as you stand it up, or you go like this and you set it on its kickstand, things going to start leaking because there's two ports on here. You can't see. I wish I had the light on here. But there's a little port right here at the top with a little brass fitting with a hole in it that it overflows and it goes out there. Well, the one on the bowl, I have a tube hooked up to it, wasn't leaking. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then I noticed it was leaking, and I looked at it again, and I'm like, oh yeah, but it's mainly coming out of here because of the way the vacuum and air, I'm assuming. I don't know, maybe it was just the way that it was sitting. But I'm going to attempt to cut this, and I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to sit it the right way, even if I have to change this tube or do something with this. But at this angle, if you set it to the factory specs, it's going to leak out the overflow. Just put my finger in there. In the overflow, there's no way of getting around it, because as soon as you set it down, boom. It's cool. I don't know. I thought that was interesting, but I didn't notice it right off, and I'm like, oh yeah, look at that. And I don't know why they would want this at an angle like that anyways. Yeah.